Hello, my name is Jonathan Flores, and welcome to a short presentation over first-generation biofuels. But first, an introduction to primary and secondary biofuels. Primary biofuels are created from the direct burning of biomass in the form of dried agricultural material, animal waste, and wood. Secondary biofuels is where you actually take the biomass, process it into either a solid, liquid, or gas form, which can then be used for electricity. These can come from three distinct feedstocks, also known as three separate generations. First generation, including sugar and grain crops. Second generation, non-food and cerealistic biomass. And third generation from microbes. We will be focusing on first generation biofuels today, produced by mainly corn. First generation biofuels can be made from many feedstocks, but ethanol in the US is most commonly made from corn. Geography and production. The corn used as livestock feed is the same as the corn grown for ethanol production, and it all happens to be made in the Midwest. It is meant to decrease reliance on foreign oil. Since 1826, ethanol has been powering engines and has been widely available commercially to the public through the form of gasoline. Ethanol in the public. Ethanol has been communicated through the public via science classes as well as biology classes, generally whenever students are taught about renewable energy sources. This gives at least students a vague understanding of biofuels. And in TV-wise, it's most commonly seen in commercials, especially in Midwestern states, and are often funded by oil companies who wish to greenwash their business. Cultivation of corn. Corn is often grown on monocultures, which requires large acres of land, massive amounts of inputs of water, fertilizers, and pesticides. And in order to expand such monocultures, it is often needed to deforest large areas. Ethanol production. Ethanol is made by the crushing and milling of corn into smaller grains that can then be fermented by yeast, which produces CO2 in an 8% ethanol solution, which must go through multiple distillations in order to make a 99.8 ethanol solution, which can then be mixed with gasoline. Impact on carbon footprint. Does it release less CO2 than fossil fuels? In short, yes, but it is still a highly inefficient process. Is it net zero? Despite releasing less carbon dioxide, the production of ethanol is not net zero. Ethanol produces more CO2 than is absorbed by the corn that it grows. This is due to its mode of cultivation with large amounts of fertilizers and pesticides, which are honestly very intensive to make. And the death of microbes is synonymous with monocultures as well. And as these microbes decompose, lots of CO2 is released. Economic impact and recommendation. Simply put, about 70% more energy is required to produce ethanol than the energy that is actually in ethanol, thus economically wasteful process. If 17 units of energy were put into crushing, milling, fermentation, distillation, and all of the agricultural inputs, only 10 units of energy can be derived from ethanol, as much of it is lost to heat. Subsidization is a process in which the government funds a specific process, and in this case, it's growing corn. Because of this, there is an increase in demand for corn, which allows farmers to charge more for their corn, and feedstock for livestock tends to increase, causing an increase in cost for animal products, which is on the consumers. So my recommendation is to stop the expansion of ethanol. My plan of action includes first, ceasing expansion. By first placing a hold on expansion, it stops the current negative effects. Research and development. Developing more efficient strains of yeast that can actually ferment corn better, less energy intensive grinding processes, and investigation of other farming techniques such as polyculture. Shifting energy reliance. Because the US reliance on ethanol was expected to increase in the future, other renewable forms of energy production would take the energy deficits ethanol would have taken over, such as solar. And these are my citations. Thank you very much and have a great day.